Dr. Obnoxious is back. After waiting a long time for a new Haemorrhage album, it's nice to hear the Spanish gore masters still at the top of their game. I would say that We Are the Gore is probably the best thing I have heard Haemorrhage do in a long time. Groom and Anatomical Inferno are probably my two favorites by them, but I would proudly say that this might be the most ambitious and heavy album they have done since the latter. Certainly, it deserves a place among the best of Haemorrhage. So what's new about this album? Well, new drummer Eric brings a harder, more death metal sound to the table. The snare blasts are always loud, and he's good at alternating between hi-hats and the ride cymbals. He even uses the toms as part of the beat. In fact, with the drumming style, there's still D-beat and grind beats, but for the most part, there's a lot of double bass and more straightforward drum lines. As a result, the music is a bit heavier. Definitely a welcome change. But guess what else is improved? The guitar playing! Soloing used to be a thing that Louisma and Anna did just every once in a while, but here it's on a lot of songs. Both of them have definitely been practicing. You get to songs like Crime Scene Cleaners where there are two solos, one being right in the beginning. Other songs have tap solos, harmonized solos that sound reminiscent to mid-era death, and randomly there are little squeals and overlays. Very good. Some of the best guitar work they've ever done is here. Generally, the sound of Haemorrhage has evolved. Just compare this to Groom or even Apology for Pathology. The punky sound of those albums are slightly downplayed, and here it's more of a gore grind and death attack. Eric behind the kit probably had something to do with that. This album is slightly faster than the older ones. Remember how they used to have the clinical medical song titles such as Excruciating Denervation of the Lumbar Spine and Fermented Postmortem Disgorgement? Well, now you won't have any trouble memorizing the names of the songs. Louisma's tradition of doing the artwork is carried on. Nothing disappoints here. Excellent line work and shading. Dr. Obnoxious is just like, gather around me and hold something. Or don't. I don't care. Everything's full of high energy and good atmosphere. Nothing sounds too thin or lacking. With the guitar sound, it's not watery like your typical gore grind guitars, and instead is thick and heavy. Just hear the beginning of Gynecologist. It will swallow you in gore! Now don't be looking for any long songs or epics on this, such as the Forensic Requiems, because if you look in any dark corner for one of those type of songs, then you could be greeted with a scalpel. And I don't mean a children's toy doctor kit type of scalpel. Now on to the songs. It's easy to growl along with the choruses. Some of the refrains are so simple that it's easy to decipher. Friggin' Gore Gourmet. The dramatic intro starts off full of excitement and importance. Then you get to the second song, Gore Gourmet. It's very easy to learn the chorus, so you'll be screaming along. Guess who else is screaming along? If you look at the liner notes, members of Ghoul and Impaled are doing backup vocals. And holy crap, they got Carlo Regatas from Swan Song era Carcass to do a solo on the Cremator song. Wow, what an awesome lineup for this thing. Transporting Cadavers is one of the couple songs here that got a music video. Let's say that you'll be headbanging quite a bit here. There are some lovely wrenching sound effects on songs such as Bathed in Bile. The guitar solo in the Cremator song is rather melodic, sort of like a mid-era death solo. I wonder, maybe the Cremator they're referring to is Cremator of Ghoul? Common interests. Lugubrious' vocals are badder than hell. Like always, there's a variety of gags, squeals, growls, and screams. But it's not quite as noticeable because the music is so busy. In fact, if anything, it sounds more organic and less like the earlier stuff where it was often done with vocal processors. Either way, I'm impressed. Medical Maniacs has groovy bass, very dancey and catchy, a trait that I personally enjoy about the band. I also really love the riff on Forensic Squad. Miss Phlebotomy is probably the biggest sounding song on the album. It's the most progressive and with the most melodic solo, but the vocals are brutal and I am totally loving the break in the song. Intravenous molestation of the obstructionist arteries is now up to Opus 7. As always, short and exciting. Sounds like a wall of gore! A surgery gone wrong. Finally, there's the bonus track, Artifacts of the Autopsy. Well, what do you know? I love Autopsy too! It's pure unadulterated fun. If you know Haemorrhage, then you know that it would be wrong to miss out. I was so early pre-ordering the record that the surgical mask was included. That's how much I am valued. You would show that you value yourself by inviting some amigos over and turning your stereo up to this. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some graves to rob.